All right, let's jump into a topic that I'm pretty sure is going to resonate with a lot of you out there.
Yeah.
Corporate politics,
Ooh.
especially those work environments where, some of those outdated attitudes and power dynamics
Right.
can make it really, really tough for women to, climb that ladder.
Yeah.
So we are going deep today into a podcast script that really wants to give ambitious young women like yourself
Yes.
the tools to not just survive, but to thrive in these situations.
And you know what I think is so interesting about this script?
Yeah.
Is that it really doesn't shy away from calling out some of these issues.
Yeah.
I mean, it uses terms like dictatorial leadership,
Yeah.
ingrained misogynistic attitudes.
Yeah.
Like, it's really painting a picture of those workplaces where female ambition is almost seen as like a threat.
It's like running with weights on your legs, right?
Yes.
That's the analogy that they use in the script.
I love that.
And it's so true. Like, it just perfectly captures that feeling of just being held back by these invisible forces. But it's not just about acknowledging the problem, is it?
No.
It actually goes into some solutions.
Yes.
And the first one that they talk about is this concept of reframing,
Reframing.
which I love.
It's so powerful.
So tell me a little bit about that.
Reframing is all about taking those negative experiences and like consciously choosing to see them as opportunities.
Yeah.
You know?
To learn.
Yes, opportunities for learning and for growth.
Yeah.
Instead of getting bogged down in like that, why is this happening to me?
Right.
You can shift your focus to, what can I learn from this?
Yeah.
How can this actually make me stronger?
So it's about taking back that control.
Yes.
Instead of letting that negativity define you.
Exactly.
You're choosing to kind of find that silver lining.
Find the silver lining.
But it's one thing to talk about reframing.
Right.
But how do you actually put it into practice?
Oh, that is the question, isn't it?
And actually, when you're feeling so overwhelmed by all of this stuff,
Absolutely. And that's where the script talks about setting boundaries.
both mental and emotional boundaries,
Yeah.
they are so crucial to protect your energy,
Yeah.
protect your sense of self-worth.
Like drawing a line in the sand
Yes.
and saying, I'm not going to engage in these power games.
Exactly.
I'm going to focus on what I can control,
Yes.
my own growth,
Right.
and the value that I bring to the table.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Setting those clear boundaries. I love it.
It's all about being strategic
Yes.
with your energy.
Speaking of strategy,
Yes.
the script also talks about the importance of prioritizing high-impact tasks.
Yes.
You know, those things that actually really move the needle for your career goals,
Yeah.
not just the goals of the people who might be trying to hold you back.
It's not about them, it's about you.
Yeah.
And what moves the needle for you.
And this ties into the next piece of advice, which is about finding allies,
Yes.
both male and female,
It's so important.
who kind of embody a different type of leadership.
And I think this stood out to me too because it's so easy to get caught up in that negativity,
Yes.
to forget that even in those really tough environments, there are people
There are.
who operate from a different set of values.
Absolutely. And you know what?
Yeah.
The script actually says that these allies,
Yeah.
they can be incredibly valuable mentors
Yeah.
to help you kind of like navigate this whole corporate maze
Yeah.
and be there to support you when you need it most.
It's recognizing that not everyone's playing the same game.
Yeah, they're not.
And surrounding yourself with the people who are genuinely invested in your success.
You got it.
Okay, so we've talked about reframing, setting boundaries, finding allies,
Yeah.
all great strategies.
Mm.
But how do we keep that momentum going when we inevitably hit those roadblocks?
Yes, the roadblocks.
Those moments where it feels like the system is working against us?
That's when it's so important to cultivate a growth mindset.
Growth mindset.
Yes.
Tell me more.
The script talks about seeing setbacks not as failures, but as opportunities for
Yeah.
learning and development.
Yeah.
So it's really about like refusing to let other people's limitations
Yeah,
define your path.
it's so powerful.
It is.
But it's easy to get discouraged, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Especially when you're constantly facing that pushback.
Yeah.
So how does the script address that emotional toll?
That's where self-compassion comes in.
Self-compassion.
It's so important.
I love that.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that.
Well, it's about recognizing that the way you're being treated in these situations is not a reflection of your worth.
Yeah.
These power dynamics,
Yeah.
it says more about the people at the top
Right.
than it does about you.
Yeah.
That's what the script says, and it's so crucial to remember that.
Yeah. It's like giving yourself permission to say, hey, it's okay to feel frustrated by this or
Yes.
hurt by this, but I'm not going to let it define me.
Exactly. And it goes even further than that.
Okay.
It calls resilience your superpower.
I love that.
I know, right?
Resilience is your superpower.
And it emphasizes that resilience isn't something that you're born with.
Right.
It's something that you build
Yeah.
through facing these very challenges.
You build it like a muscle.
Yes, exactly.
I love that imagery.
Me too.
Okay, so we've got all of these tools.
Yes.
But how do we stay focused on our goals?
Yes.
When the day-to-day can feel so demoralizing?
Yeah.
How do we keep that bigger picture in mind?
That is a great question.
You know, when you're drowning in emails and deadlines,
Right.
how do you keep that sense of purpose alive?
That's where the script really hits home with its emphasis on maintaining focus on your long-term vision.
Long-term vision.
Yes, imagine it as a guiding star.
Leading you through those foggy patches.
Yes.
Reminding you why you embarked on this journey in the first place.
Exactly.
I love it. So we've got this powerful combination of reframing boundaries,
Yeah.
allies, growth mindset, self-compassion, and that unwavering focus on our long-term vision.
It's quite a toolkit.
It is. Are there any practical tools that the script suggests for putting all of this into action?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
And it offers 3 really tangible tools that I think you'll find incredibly helpful. But we'll delve into those in the next part of our deep dive.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back. We are in the thick of it, aren't we?
We are.
Exploring this podcast script, all this advice for ambitious women navigating the
Murky waters. Yes.
of corporate politics. And I think what's been so interesting
Yeah.
is that it's not just about surviving these power dynamics.
Right.
It's about taking control and defining your own path to success.
Exactly. You know, even when that traditional corporate ladder feels more like a
Jungle gym.
jungle gym. I love that.
Right. So we've been unpacking some pretty powerful strategies.
Yes.
Reframing, setting those boundaries.
Yes.
Surrounding ourselves with allies who get it.
Mm-hmm.
Cultivating that growth mindset.
It's powerful stuff.
It is. But it's easy to kind of get stuck in the theory. How do we make this work in real life?
Well, that's where the script gets really down to earth.
Okay.
It bridges that gap between concept and action with some super practical tools.
Yeah.
Remember those 3 that we hinted at?
Yes.
Well, let's dive into those.
Let's do it.
First up, journaling.
Journaling.
Tried and true.
I've always found that so helpful.
Yeah.
But I'm curious how the script frames it in this context. Is it just like venting frustrations, or is there something deeper?
It goes way beyond venting, although that can be therapeutic too.
Right.
But in this context, it's more about documenting your experiences,
Okay.
both the highs and the lows,
Mm-hmm.
the challenges you overcome, the insights you gain.
So you're not just recording what happened.
Right.
You're reflecting on what you learned from those experiences.
Yes, and how you grew.
Yeah.
It's like building a case study
I love that.
of your own resilience.
Tangible proof of your progress,
Yes.
which can be so validating,
Absolutely.
especially when those external, pats on the back are scarce.
It's about owning your accomplishments, recognizing your own strength.
Yeah.
And that ties in perfectly with the script's second tool,
Okay.
celebrating every win.
Yes. I am all about celebrating the wins, no matter how small.
The little victory dances
Exactly.
is so important.
What's the thinking behind that?
Well, it's recognizing that in those environments where women's contributions might be overlooked,
Yeah.
it becomes even more crucial to acknowledge your own progress.
Yeah.
So those small wins,
Yeah.
they're like fuel for your journey. They remind you that you are making headway, building momentum.
It reinforces that idea of not relying on external validation. So
Exactly.
your sense of worth, you define your own success.
You are in the driver's seat,
Love it.
charting your own course.
Okay.
Now, the third tool the script offers is all about building a support system.
Okay.
Those trusty folks who've got your back,
Yeah.
they call them accountability partners.
Accountability partners. I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
So fill me in. What does the script say about those?
All right. Well, it's similar to mentors,
Okay.
but with a specific focus on holding you accountable to your goals
Okay.
and providing that extra boost of encouragement when things get tough.
So it's not just about emotional support.
Right.
It's about having that practical, strategic guidance
Exactly.
as you're moving through
Yes.
all of this.
And this can be especially crucial in those male-dominated environments,
Right.
where women might feel isolated or like they're constantly having to prove themselves.
Yeah.
So having that trusted circle, those voices saying, you've got this, we believe in you, can make all the difference.
It's about creating that sense of community,
Yes,
knowing you're not alone on this journey.
exactly.
Okay, so we've got our journal for reflection.
Yes.
We've got our victory dances for celebrating those wins.
I'll let
And we've got our accountability partners to keep us on track.
you got it.
But what about those moments when those negative voices start creeping in? Those self-doubts whispering, maybe I'm not cut out for this.
It happens to the best of us.
How do we deal with that?
Well, that's where self-compassion becomes an absolute game changer.
Okay.
The script emphasizes that those negative thoughts, those doubts and fears,
Yeah.
they're not facts, they're just thoughts.
But they can feel so real,
Yeah.
especially when they're echoing messages that we've heard from other people.
Oh, absolutely.
Maybe even people in positions of power.
Right. But self-compassion
Yeah.
allows you to step back and say, hey, it's understandable that I'm feeling this way given the circumstances,
Yeah.
but these thoughts don't define me.
It's like giving yourself that same kindness and understanding
Yes.
that you would offer to a close friend
Exactly.
who is struggling.
It's so important.
So we're being kind to ourselves.
Yes.
We're building resilience. We're celebrating those wins. We're surrounding ourselves with a supportive crew.
It's all connected.
But how do we keep that big picture vision in focus
Yeah.
when the day-to-day can feel so overwhelming?
Right.
When you're just drowning in those emails and deadlines?
Yeah. How do you keep that sense of purpose alive?
Right.
Well, that's where the script's emphasis on long-term vision really shines.
Okay.
Imagine it as a guiding star.
Leading you through those foggy patches.
Yes.
Reminding you why you embarked on this journey in the first place.
Exactly. It's about holding on to that bigger picture, that sense of what you're ultimately working towards, and not letting the day-to-day noise distract you from that goal. It's about reminding yourself that you have the power to shape your own destiny, to define your own success, and to create a career that aligns with your values and aspirations. But we'll explore this concept of vision even further in the final part of our deep dive. Stay tuned.
We're back. Last part of our deep dive here.
We are.
Been having a blast exploring this podcast script.
Mm-hmm.
So much good advice in here for ambitious women
So much.
navigating corporate politics,
The ups and the downs.
the treacherous terrain.
Exactly.
And I think what's been so interesting is
Yeah.
it's not just about surviving those power dynamics.
Right.
It's about thriving in those environments.
Thriving. Yeah.
So we talked about, reframing those challenges
Yes.
as opportunities, setting those boundaries.
Yes. Protect your energy.
Surround yourself with allies.
Yes.
Cultivating that growth mindset.
It's like the ultimate toolkit.
But here's where it gets even more interesting.
I've
This
had-
script,
Yeah.
it's not just for the corner office.
Oh, tell me more.
These strategies,
Yeah.
they can be applied far beyond the walls of your workplace.
Really?
Think about it. We encounter those situations all the time
Mm-hmm.
where we feel like our ambition is being stifled.
Yeah.
Maybe it's in our personal relationships,
Okay.
maybe in our creative pursuits,
Right.
even within our families.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So how do we take these corporate savvy strategies
Yeah.
and apply them to those other areas of life?
That's the question, isn't it?
It is. So let's take reframing, for example.
Okay.
Imagine you're pouring your heart into this creative project,
Mm.
but you're constantly getting, criticism or discouragement,
Yeah.
maybe even from people you're close to.
Ouch.
Instead of letting those negative messages get you down,
Right.
what could you do?
Well, you could try reframing the situation.
Reframing how?
So instead of getting defensive or shutting down, ask
Yeah.
yourself, what can I learn from this feedback?
Yeah,
Is there a kernel of truth that I can use to improve my work?
I love that.
And whose opinions truly matter to me at the end of the day?
It's about reclaiming that power,
Yes.
shifting your perspective,
Exactly.
focusing on what you can control,
You got it.
your own growth, your own vision.
And that same principle applies to setting boundaries,
Okay.
not just at work, but in our personal relationships as well.
So it's recognizing that we have the right to protect our time, our energy, our emotional well-being,
Yes.
no matter who we're dealing with.
It's about self-respect.
Right.
Yeah.
Boundaries aren't selfish.
No, they're not.
They're an act
It's
of
like
self-respect
And don't forget about the importance of allies.
for allies.
Those supportive individuals
Yeah.
who champion our growth and cheer us on.
Yeah.
Those relationships are just as crucial outside of work as they are within it.
It's about surrounding yourself with people who believe in your dreams,
Yeah.
who see your potential, who encourage you to be your best self no matter what.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
What about that growth mindset?
the growth mindset.
It's a superpower.
Yes.
It transcends any specific situation.
That's right.
So whether you're tackling a career goal,
Okay.
a creative endeavor, a personal challenge, that growth mindset can completely change the way you approach those obstacles.
It's all about the perspective.
So it's about seeing those bumps in the road,
Yeah.
not as failures,
Right.
but as opportunities to learn and grow.
To learn and grow. Exactly.
And remembering that resilience is built through facing challenges,
Yes.
not avoiding them.
Love it.
But what about that inner critic, that voice that's always whispering in your ear?
Yeah.
Maybe you're not good enough.
Right.
Maybe you should just give up.
It happens.
How do we silence that negativity?
Well, that's where self-compassion comes in.
Self-compassion.
It's so important.
Yeah.
It's about treating ourselves with the same kindness and understanding
Mhm.
that we would offer to a close friend who
Yeah.
is struggling.
So it's acknowledging those negative thoughts and feelings,
Yes.
but not letting them define us.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that we're all works in progress.
Yeah.
We're all learning and growing.
Yeah.
It's okay to make mistakes along the way.
It's all part of the process.
And let's not forget about celebrating those wins.
Yes.
No matter how small in every area of our lives.
Big or small.
Exactly.
It's about acknowledging our progress,
Yes.
honoring our efforts,
Mhm.
giving ourselves permission to feel good
Yes.
about what we've accomplished.
Whether it's landing a big promotion or, simply making it through a tough day, those small victories add up.
They do.
They fuel our motivation,
Yeah.
boost our confidence, and remind us that we are capable
Mm-hmm.
of achieving great things.
And to kind of wrap things up here, I want to circle back
Okay.
to that idea of long-term vision. That's what ultimately guides our journey.
It's like our North Star.
So even when we're feeling lost in the day-to-day,
Right.
we can always come back to that vision,
Yes.
that bigger picture of what we're really working towards.
It's about reminding ourselves
Yeah,
that we have the power to shape our own destiny,
I love that.
to define our own success.
To create a life that aligns with our values and our dreams.
Absolutely.
And I think that's the perfect note to end on.
I agree.
We've explored so many tools
So many.
for not just surviving, but thriving
Yes.
in any environment.
That's right.
So whether it's the corporate jungle or any other challenging landscape, you've got the power to shape your own destiny,
Yes, you do.
to find your own success, and create a life that you love.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time,
See you then.
keep those ambitions burning bright. And remember,
Yeah.
you've got this.